Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the initial checkout of a really cool original Snoopy and Woodstock telephone. Now this is Jermaine's telephone from Iowa. And I spoke to him the other day, and he said he broke this telephone back when he was a little kid, and so he never really got to enjoy it. And so anyway, Snoopy is not in very good condition here. This is the way it came in. He's got his head here, and then his hand, which is broke off. And then I spoke with him, and he said, "Go ahead and keep the screwdriver." So there was a screwdriver in the box when he shipped it, and I'm okay with it. I've got plenty of screwdrivers, so I told him I would send that back. But we have the arm that's broke off, the hand actually, an arm that holds the receiver for Snoopy, and so that's not a good thing because the parts for these telephones are very hard to find, and this happens pretty often that the piece of linkage will break there. So basically this is the initial checkout, and we're going to try to get Snoopy all back together again and get him repaired up. And so what we can do now is I want to go into the telephone. I want to move some of these parts over. I want to get a look at the bottom of the telephone, and I can hear some things falling around inside there. But what we want to do is I want to plug it into the analyzer, and I want to see what kind of a situation we have here. We do have dial tone, and I'm going to go ahead and dial my numbers if you watch the analyzer. But yet the numbers aren't dialing out either. So we have more than just one issue here. It's never breaking dial tone. We'll try that again. So it never breaks dial tone. And I'm thinking that we could probably hang that up from the linkage here. And maybe it's too far gone to even try that. But it wouldn't matter anyway, because once we unplug the telephone and plug it back in to reset it, we have dial tone. But we are unable to dial out. I'm going to go ahead and speak into the transmitter into the handset, and it looks like that it has modulation. But we do have a keypad issue, so that could be related back to the network. It could be in the keypad itself, but it's never breaking dial tone. And we can't touch the ring because we can't hang the phone up because his arm is broke. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break from the video, and we're going to get into this telephone and start troubleshooting out some of these problems. Obviously the arm is going to have to be repaired, but then we have this other issue going on with the keypad. So we're just going to take them one step at a time and go for the arm and repair that, and then we're going to have to go into the workings of the telephone, the network, and the keypad and see what's going on there and why we are unable to dial any numbers. It just is not responding. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and now Snoopy has basically come all apart. We have his body apart now, and we've taken the center linkage out of the center of the body. We'll try to get this to stand up here. taken that linkage out. And so what we have here is another piece of linkage that kind of looks like this when it's together. And so what we have here, it's a very difficult repair, because what happens is when it breaks like this, you have very limited space. So you have to look at what you have in a clearance when you have this piece here back on the linkage properly, and then you have the broken piece, and so you have to allow for the clearance, because this has to swing up and down for his arm, and you have to clear the center linkage. So it's a pretty tricky repair. These parts are very hard to find for this very reason, because they do break. Now, we do repair these very often, but I always make a decision on whether I'm going to repair it after I've studied it a while, because they break in different positions and different spots. Now, this is a pretty common break, but one issue is it almost looks like it has been, over the years, kind of worn on. It just looks very rough around the edges. It's not a clean break. It's like as if somebody might have been trying to, at some time, hang the phone up with the arm or something. It just looks like it's been worn away. And so I'm going to take a better look at that and kind of study it. And we've done many different types of repairs on these. Sometimes I wrap them in an epoxy. Sometimes I even metal clad them. And sometimes I just don't think that it's worth repairing, and we search for a different part. Now, if I happen to repair this, it'll be because I think that we can pull the repair off without any problems. And generally, when we repair it, it's stronger than it was from the factory under normal use. Anything can be rebroke, but under normal use, when they leave this shop, they're repaired. If it gets dropped again, or somebody slams the handset down, of course you're going to break this again. But under normal use, if we repair this, it should be fine. But we'll make that decision. And I'm going to go ahead and take another break, and we're going to figure out what we want to do here, because we don't only have that to worry about, this issue here. We have a keypad issue. So once we repair the linkage, then we have to go over and find out why this telephone is not dialing out and why it's not breaking dial tone when you try to dial out. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back and try to get some more video in of this telephone. Okay, we're back now, and so basically what we have done here is repaired the linkage that the hand and arm set on. And I don't know if the video can pick this up very well, but a lot of times when we order these or find these, we still find cracks, or we still find them broken, stress cracked. And so what we like to do is basically just take the ones that come with the telephone, if they're repairable, and go ahead and repair them. Now, there's no way that this telephone is going to break again under normal use. It's wrapped in metal now. I like to wrap them in metal and epoxy them. And we also, where the little plastic stud came out to catch the hook switch and go up and down with it, I replaced that with a piece of metal or a screw. And so there's just no way that that would break now under normal use. It's just too strong now. And so this actually fits into the arm and the hand like this, and then it goes up and down as you hang the receiver up. So that part of it has been repaired. Now, the other issue like in the earlier part of the video, what we talked about was there was no bridge rectifier for this keypad, and the keypad wasn't working properly, and I checked into it further and troubleshooted it, and it turns out that it's not bridge rectified protected. And so what we're going to be doing is repairing that also. This is some more of the linkage for the arm and for the hook switch. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break from the video, and I want to move some of this over, some of these parts, and we're going to be installing a bridge rectifier at this network. And so we've already kind of started that. We've got some of our lines pulled that we want to attach to create our circuit. And so we're going to be doing that. So I'm going to try to get some video of that in, but right now we're going to take a short break and start working on that part of the telephone. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and so what we've done is started the bridge rectifier circuit, and I like to make my own bridge rectifiers, and it wouldn't do any good to do what I'm doing unless you knew how to configure the components. So you have to know how to put them together and what to use for your leads. So anyway, I like to make my own bridge rectifiers. You can buy them, but basically you can make them also, and I've always made them, so I like to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of this in the video. I'm going to go ahead and solder these up. So I want to stabilize them. Make sure I clean my soldering gun here. And then we'll start soldering that up. We'll kind of finish off some of the circuit for you in the video. And try to get some of that in this part of the video. Okay, that takes care of that right now. We'll let that cool down some, and then we can go to work on it. I have a couple of other things that I need to straighten out over here. Get some of these wires ready for what we need to do with them. Get these attached, and then we'll solder them up. Get some solder on that. Okay. Now we can start installing our bridge rectifier. And like I said, if you're not sure how to make your connections on these, it really wouldn't do you much good. So we'll install this now. It has to be configured properly or it will not work. Get a little more solder there. Get this one soldered. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and stop the video because I also have to secure this line and or this network, and then I also have to make my final connections to the network for our bridge rectifier. And we'll be doing that here, and I'll try to get a little more video here in a second of what's going on, but we'll take a short break and be right back. Okay, we're back now, and had a chance to look some things over, and now we're going to make some final connections here. Get that line soldered up. Okay. Now what we can do is give the telephone a little test. I'm going to hold down the hook switch. I'll let that go one more time. Give you some dial tone. And then we're going to walk through our numbers here. I'm going to end in a 2. And then what I want to do is transmit into the handset. And if you watch this red light here, it's going to be red every time. It'll light up red every time I transmit. So That indicates 100% modulation on transmit. So we know the telephone is in working condition now, and that our bridge rectifier is in place. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap up everything and get everything back to normal. And then we'll do some final checks on this. We also want to start putting Snoopy back together again and getting all of his linkage installed the way it's supposed to be. And so we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've kind of been working on everything and getting everything put back together again. We have all the linkage put back together again like we wanted. And reinstalled. So now what we want to do is we also got all of our network back together again and everything secured. And so what we want to do now is do a little test where we set the body on the base, and then we'll go ahead and plug in the unit, give you some dial tone, and then we'll reach over and hang it up. And so now we know that this part of the repair is proper, and we can go ahead and ring the telephone since it's hanging up now. I'll let that go a couple times. Let it go one more time. Give you some dial tone. And now we can finish putting the telephone back together again. And under normal use, there should not be any more problems with the arm not hanging up the telephone. And you know, it's probably stronger than it was when it was put out of the factory. So it's in a lot better shape now. And under normal use, there should not be any problems. So we'll go ahead and take a break from the video now and start putting Snoopy back together again. And then we'll do a final check. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we have totally finished up putting Snoopy back together again. And now we're going to do some final checks with him and get him all straightened out. Jermaine's got a really nice Snoopy here. This Snoopy is in very good condition. So let's go ahead and do some final checks. We'll go ahead and ring Snoopy now. I'll let that go a couple times. Give you some dial tone. And then what we want to do, if you watch the analyzer, is I want to go ahead and dial some numbers. I'm going to end in a 2, and then I want to transmit into the handset. And if you watch this red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So we know the telephone is working, and his arm here will be a little stiff. For a bit, but with a little use, it'll free up and it'll be just fine. Actually, it's just fine now, but it is a little stiff, and it'll loosen up. And Snoopy's head spins around. For those who don't know, Snoopy's head will turn. You can turn it any way you want. And then we got little Woodstock down here. So Anyway, let's move Snoopy over into a regular telephone line. And we're going to go ahead and call a number, give you some dial tone, like say a time and temp.
Good evening. 2 Ford stores, 1 great company, Offenburg Ford. A short drive to great value. Today is Monday, April 30th. The time is 7:16. Current temperature 77 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Mostly cloudy tonight, 50% chance of a shower and a thunderstorm, a low in the low 60s. Showers and thunderstorms likely Tuesday morning, then partly sunny, highs around 80.
Okay, so we can dial another number. We'll dial my number, give you some dial tone, and it'll be busy. And we'll dial one other number, give you some dial tone. We don't need anything from there.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
Okay, so we know Snoopy in Woodstock is repaired now, and Jermaine can start using this telephone instead of just looking at it. And I know he said something that I believe he said it has been broke since he was a little kid, and so you know, the good thing is he kept Snoopy around, and now that he's repaired, you know, it took however long, but he searched us down and found us, and now Snoopy is repaired, and that's a good thing, because Snoopy is a really cool telephone, and we get a lot of calls about these. They're very sought after, and they're highly collectible, and they're just a great telephone. And Jermaine's got a really nice one here. It's in very good condition, and so he's going to, you know, be able to use this for a long time. And under normal circumstances, in normal use, he shouldn't have any more problems with the arm. And now he can also plug this Snoopy in, no matter where it's plugged in at. He will always have proper polarity on the circuit, and everything will be fine now that he has his bridge rectifier installed. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. We're also going to return Jermaine's screwdriver that was shipped in the box with Snoopy. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.